Albert Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world. What he said was those who understand it earn it, those who don't pay it. And what he was talking about was compound interest. And that's what I want to talk about today is how to use that eighth wonder of the world for your benefit, for your family's benefit, to grow your wealth over time. Okay. And that's just really simple. It's simply saying, listen, I'm managing my finances up to a certain point, and now I can set aside $25 a month, $100 a month, $500 a month, whatever it is, and put it into an investment vehicle. And if it's money that you don't need for at least 2 or 3 years, I would say put in the stock market. But if it's money you need, hey, look, I'm gonna save some money, but I'm gonna need it next summer because I'm going on vacation. That's different.
Did you say money you don't need for 2 or 3 years? Is that what you said?
I've
never seen that money before. Wow, that's some new money I've never even heard of.
Okay, so maybe I need to back up, right? Maybe I need to back up. What I mean by back up,
and the eighth wonder of the world is Andre the Giant. Okay.
We have to learn how to spend less than we need. It's a discipline. So, because I've seen people that make a fraction of what I personally make, but they found a way to sock away a ton of money and quit their jobs before age 50. And retire in, a Winnebago somewhere in the southwest, right? Like, it just depends on what you want and what you want to do. So whether you make $3,000 a month, or you make $30,000 a month, or you make $300,000 a month, the problem that I have learned is it is not about how much you make, it is about how much you save. It is about managing your financial situation. Now, to be fair, if you have children that need food, that need back book bags, they need, stuff to be able to, go back and forth and do what they need to do, and you have that desire, obviously, to provide for them, that makes it harder. That creates constraints. And sometimes we got to do what we got to do. We got to get that second job. We got to get that hustle on. We got to find a way to create
let me interrupt you. It's so the reason that's so much easier said than done. If you're not coming from a rich family where, dad could hold you down. I have so many times I've talked to people who were maybe in their 30s, usually not the same shade as me, by the way. And when I'm like, how did you get your house so early? Oh, my family hit me with 100 grand, or they hit me with 50 grand.
Right.
Listen, you want to know how many grand my family has hit me with, bro? 0 grand. Not because they didn't want to, because they didn't have it like that. So right. I'm just saying, when you think about it, and where you would have to save money for most people would be like, you'd have to give up your vice. So whatever it is, that little Starbucks coffee, that little, that little sneakers or whatever the case, that little thing that keeps you going, you give that up. Now you're just working.
Oh,
and that leads to other things now.
Can I jump in on that? Because I'm somebody who's
you just jumped in, bro.
Go ahead.
So, all right. So I'm somebody who's giving up the Starbucks coffee and Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and I make my coffee at home.
You said you was giving it up for Starbucks coffee?
No. I've given up Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, and I make my coffee at home.
Say, where we going? All right.
And, but I've got a 1-year-old. She needs diapers. She needs wipes. She grows out of clothes crazy fast. And all the prices of these things are going up by the day.
Right.
So, I'd save the best I can. But it's not easy out here.
No, it's not easy. It's not easy. I may say it fast. I may say it simple, but I'm not saying it's easy. Absolutely not. And sometimes we got to get ourselves to the point where we now have the ability to save. But here's what I'll tell you. If you're barely making ends meet at whatever stage of life you're at, and then you do get that new job that pays you more money, or you get that raise in your current job that pays you more money, do you then, which most of us do, just naturally start spending all the extra money you're getting every month and every year? And then you look up a year or two later and you're like, dang, I got that raise. It really didn't even make a difference. That's because we made a series of decisions where we just kept spending up to the limit of what we had coming in the account. We have to try to, again, once you're at a place where you can do it, establish a discipline.
You know what they say,
spending less than you make.
And tell me if you agree with this, C Square. Because when you're poor and you get some money, the first thing you're trying to do is pay off debt. Mm-hmm. Now, whether all that debt should have been accumulated, I guess we could discuss that. We could debate that. But once you get that raise now, it's not like you're just blowing it. You're trying to pay off the bills that was already at your neck. And then once you get your equilibrium on, bills are going up, inflation's going up. Now you're back underwater.
But if you're actually paying the debt off and not reusing it again, then once it is paid off, I don't care if it takes you 5 years. Now it's paid off. So whatever you were putting towards debt every month to get it paid off over however long that took, that is now money that you can save because you don't have to pay any more debt off. But we don't do that, right? Like the natural inclination is, woo, finally, I'm going to take that Jamaica vacation. Right? We just immediately run to
that Jamaica Queens vacation.
we immediately run to the reward, right? So, Mr. GP talked about Starbucks. I saw something earlier in the week, and I was like, man, I want to share this with the podcast, right? And basically, we're just sharing the stat, right? Starbucks. If you look back at, call it 2005, and this is somebody who drank Starbucks every single day, $5 a cup or whatever, right? After year one, that person spent $1,825 on Starbucks coffee. No. By year 5, you spend $9,125 on Starbucks coffee. I'll just skip over the next two. By year 20, which is now it's 2025 in this scenario, $36,500 on Starbucks coffee. Okay? If you instead said, hey, I'm going to do what Mr. GP did. I'm not going to spend $5 a day on Starbucks coffee. I'm going to make coffee at home. And I'm going to take the money I would have spent on Starbucks coffee and I'm going to put it in my account and start investing. By the end of year 1, that money has grown to $7,407. By the end of year 10, it's now $22,888 in the account. By the end of year 20, you got $46,550 in that account that you put $5 a day into. That's the power of compounded interest, and that's also the power of just having some discipline over our money.
But where are you putting this in? You talking about like one of those online investment accounts, just one of those?
Well, you look, it could
you
be
get C Square coin.
Man. But you can open a Schwab account, a Fidelity account, a Robinhood account. It doesn't really matter, right? Now there are certain companies you need to have a lot of money in order for them to open the doors to you. But Robinhoods of the world, the Vanguards of the world, the Charles Schwabs of the world, you just call them up and say, hey, listen, I got $50. I want to open up an account. Let's get this thing going. They're gonna take it and they're gonna open the account and they're gonna treat you right? So that's what I would say is, cobble that money together and make that step, and then have the discipline to keep going.
You're right. There is a lot of bad spending and mismanagement going on. Because I took a day off the other day and I ran to the mall real quick to grab something, and the mall was packed, and it was like 12:30.
Yeah.
I was like, why is nobody working?
They ain't no recession.
Yeah. So
everybody in there.
Right. Forget that. I mean, how many times you almost getting run by a scooter by a guy delivering food for a food app? People paying for those food apps, right? That's the
right. So
I like
a lot of
myself
squandering going on.
There's a lot of people whose persuasion is lighter than ours collectively on this podcast, who did have an opportunity to inherit wealth or receive gifts from grandparents, parents. It's a game changer. So this conversation, though, and this segment is about being that person for our kids, for our grandkids, and making the decisions today sacrificially so that we can be in a position to leave money to our children's children. And somebody's got to sacrifice.